we've said that 2035 is a little bit too far in the future to think about. So maybe this was going to be a jump to 2040, but maybe we'll keep it shorter than that. When I think about the area where AI could have, for both our kids and us, the biggest genuinely positive impact on all of us, it's health. So if we are in, pick your year, call it 2035, and I'm sitting here and I'm interviewing the dean of Stanford Medicine, what do you hope that he's telling me AI is doing for our health in 2035?
Start with 2025.
Okay. Yeah, please.
One of the things we are most proud of with GPT-5 is how much better it's gotten at health advice. People have used the GPT-4 models a lot for health advice. And I'm sure you've seen some of these things on the internet where people are like, I had this life-threatening disease and no doctor could figure it out. And I put my symptoms and a blood test into ChatGPT. It told me exactly the rare thing I had. I went to a doctor. I took a pill. I'm cured. That's amazing, obviously. And a huge fraction of ChatGPT queries are health related. So we wanted to get really good at this, and we invested a lot, and GPT-5 is significantly better at healthcare related queries.
What does better mean here?
It gives you a better answer.
Just more accurate?
More accurate, hallucinates less, more likely to tell you what you actually have, what you actually should do. Yeah. And better healthcare is wonderful, but obviously what people actually want is to just not have disease. And by 2035, I think we will be able to use these tools to cure a significant number, or at least treat a significant number of diseases that currently plague us. I think that'll be one of the most viscerally felt benefits of AI.
People talk a lot about how AI will revolutionize healthcare, but I'm curious to go one turn deeper on specifically what you're imagining. Is it that these AI systems could have helped us see GLP-1s earlier, this medication that has been around for a long time, but we didn't know about this other effect? Is it that, AlphaFold and protein folding is helping create new medicines?
I would like to be able to ask
here?
GPT-8 to go cure a particular cancer. And I would like GPT-8 to go off and think and then say, okay, I read everything I could find. I have these ideas. I need you to go get a lab technician to run these 9 experiments and tell me what you find for each of them. And, wait 2 months for the cells to do their thing. Send the results back to GPT-8. Say, I tried that. Here you go. Think. Say, okay, I just need one more experiment. That was a surprise. Run one more experiment. Give it back. GPT-8 says, okay, go synthesize this molecule and try, mouse studies or whatever. Okay, that was good. Try human studies. Okay, great. It worked. Here's how to run it through the FDA.
I think anyone with a loved one who's died of cancer would also really like that. Yeah. Okay, we're going to jump again.
Okay.
I was going to say 2050, but again, all of my timelines are getting much, much shorter. But
it does feel like the world's going very fast now.
It does. Yeah. And when I talk to other leaders in AI, one of the things that they refer to is the Industrial Revolution. They say, I chose 2050 because I've heard people talk about how by then, the change that we will have gone through will be like the Industrial Revolution, but, quote, 10 times bigger and 10 times faster. The Industrial Revolution gave us modern medicine and sanitation and transportation and mass production and all of the conveniences that we now take for granted. It also was incredibly difficult for a lot of people for about 100 years. If this is going to be 10 times bigger and 10 times faster, if we keep reducing the timelines that we're talking about here, even in this conversation, what does that actually feel like for most people? And I think what I'm trying to get at is, if this all goes the way you hope, who still gets hurt in the meantime?
I don't really know what this is going to feel like to live through. I think we're in uncharted waters here. I do believe in human adaptability and sort of infinite creativity and desire for stuff. And I think we always do figure out new things to do. But the transition period, if this happens as fast as it might, and I don't think it will happen as fast as some of my colleagues say the technology will, but society has a lot of inertia. Mm-hmm. People adapt their way of living surprisingly slowly. There are classes of jobs that are going to totally go away. And there will be many classes of jobs that change significantly. And then there'll be the new things, in the same way that your job didn't exist some time ago, neither did mine. And in some sense, this has been going on for a long time. And, it's still disruptive to individuals, but society has proven quite resilient to this. And then in some other sense, like, we have no idea how far or fast this could go. And thus, I think we need an unusual degree of humility and openness to considering new solutions that would have seemed way out of the Overton window not too long ago.
I'd like to talk about what some of those could be, because I'm not a historian by any means, but the first industrial revolution, my understanding is, led to a lot of public health
Mm-hmm.
implementations because public health got so bad, led to modern sanitation because
Mhm.
public health got so bad. The second industrial revolution led to workforce protections because labor conditions got so bad. Every big leap creates a mess, and that mess needs to be cleaned up. And we've done that. And I'm curious, this is going to be, it sounds like, we're in the middle of this
Yeah.
enormous leap. How specific can we get as early as possible about what that mess can be? What are the public interventions that we could do ahead of time to reduce the mess that we think that we're headed for?
I would, again, I'm going to speculate for fun, but
Yeah, you're
caveated
not
by
a
like,
wizard. I don't
I'm not an
expect- yeah.
economist even, much less someone who can see the future. It seems to me like something fundamental about the social contract may have to change. It may not. It may be that, like, actually capitalism works as it's been working surprisingly well, and like demand supply balances do their thing, and we all just figure out kind of new jobs and new ways to transfer value to each other. But it seems to me likely that we will decide we need to think about how access to this maybe most important resource of the future gets shared. The best thing that it seems to me to do is to make AI compute as abundant and cheap as possible, such that we're just like, there's way too much and we run out of like good new ideas to really use it for. And it's just like anything you want is happening. Without that, I can see like quite literal wars being fought over it. But, new ideas about how we distribute access to AGI compute, that seems like a really great direction, like a crazy but important thing to think about.
One of the things that I find myself thinking about in this conversation is we often ascribe almost full responsibility of the AI future that we've been talking about to the companies building AI. But we're the ones using it. We're the ones electing people that will regulate it. And so I'm curious, this is not a question about specific, federal regulation or anything like that, although if you have an answer there, I'm curious. But what would you ask of the rest of us? What is the shared responsibility here, and how can we act in a way that would help make the optimistic version of this more possible?
My favorite historical example for the AI revolution is the transistor. It was this amazing piece of science that some brilliant scientists discovered. It scaled incredibly, like AI does, and it made its way relatively quickly into many things that we use. Your computer, your phone, that camera, that light, whatever. And it was a real unlock for the tech tree of humanity. And there were a period in time where probably everybody was really obsessed with the transistor companies, the semiconductors of Silicon Valley back when it was Silicon Valley. But now you can maybe name a couple of companies that are transistor companies, but mostly you don't think about it. Mostly it's just seeped everywhere. And Silicon Valley is, like probably someone graduating from college barely remembers why it was called that in the first place. And you don't think that it was those transistor companies that shaped society, even though they did something important. You think about what Apple did with the iPhone, and then you think about what TikTok built on top of the iPhone, and you're like, all right, here's this long chain of all these people that nudged society in some way, and what our governments did or didn't do, and what the people using these technologies did. And I think that's what will happen with AI. Like, okay, kids born today, they never knew the world without AI. So they don't really think about it. It's just this thing that's going to be there in everything. And they will think about like the companies that built on it and what they did with it, and the kind of like political leaders, the decisions they made that maybe they wouldn't have been able to do without AI, but they will still think about like what this president or that president did.